Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, we are back with episode 11, I guess, of the Old Humble Game Night. So, last time I was here doing this was the Battle of Sydney, episode 10, and we can check and see how that went for us. Um, if you will recall, if you recall, I'm Joe, the Old Humble Guy. Greetings and salutations. This is the Old Humble Game Night, brought to you by the Old Humble Distilling Company. We are playing Conflict of Nations. Conflict of Nations being a real-time strategy game that is, I find it to be very entertaining. But let's see how the Sydney Gambit went. The game's over. The game actually ended later. I think it ended Wednesday night. The game ended Wednesday night. So if you recall, the gambit that we had that we were going after, I was Austria. I had gotten kicked out of my ancestral homeland, if you will. Um, that was in Austria, as one would expect. Um, my allies were Romania and Germany and um, Romania and Germany and France. And what had happened was they went ahead and attacked Russia, who was allied with Indonesia and China and Australia. And they basically got their ass handed to them. Russia beat them. China swept through Central Europe. Indonesia swept through the Middle East, moved their way into Western Africa or Northeast Africa. I was here in Indonesia, or not Indonesia, in Morocco and Algeria, fighting my war here, working to build up a base here so we could kind of just sweep down and uh, take the African continent on for our victory points that we needed. Well, that didn't work out so well for us. It worked out well for me because I ended up being able to survive in Morocco and Algeria and hold on to my spot. But what was going to happen, AWAC squadron, they had ships all over the place. See, what was going to happen, uh, my plan was then to send a fleet around to Australia and knock out Australia, take their capital, and then do the same thing to Indonesia. What ended up happening is I failed. I failed to take the capital. The game was going to end in about 2 days. So I had, well, it was 4 days. My game was in 4 days, and it was going to take 2 days to pull this off. And if I had pulled it off, it would have extended the game out significantly because Australia would have collapsed. Their entire North American possessions would have collapsed. And then I'd have turned around and done the same thing to Indonesia. As it turns out, I should have taken my ships, all my ships, my entire fleet, and just risked it all. But I hedged my bet, and I was going to try and pick off some points from Europe. Anyway, so I failed. They had a fleet there. They had an army on hand that took care of the landing force. And see, China didn't have anything in Europe. The units I had in Europe got taken out by Australian airplanes. Russia didn't have anything in Russia. Um, Man, if they could have broken through the front lines, they would have. They could have run it, but they didn't. They failed. Um, Indonesia didn't have anything defending Indonesia. Jakarta was. They had one ship in Jakarta. That was going to be the next stop too. After I was done with, uh, they had some ships. What the hell's that thing? A radar squadron, stealth fighter. No, what that thing? This thing, radar battalion. They had a Corvette. They had a Corvette guarding their freaking capital. If I'd have sent my fleet to Indonesia, I'd have. Man, I fucked up. I messed it. I just messed up. If I'd have had Sydney was not this well defended when I came in last night. They added all this stuff into Sydney. That was not there when I invaded. I had knocked Sydney down to basically being undefended. Oh well, oh well. So that's how that cookie crumbled. The game ended a few days Wednesday, right after. Cheers to chat, by the way. Hey, Moose Gal, how you doing? So that's how that game ended. My strategy. I told my son I was like a guy being dropped into a uh, uh, tank of sharks with lasers on their heads and alligators in their mouths, and I had my chest strapped with nuclear weapons or nuclear weapon launchers. I mean, I had absolutely nothing to lose because the game was going to end in a couple of days. I was about to get kicked off or kicked out of the game because it was about to end. So that was the risky strategy that I employed. We watched it fail in real time on the Tuesday night game night, and there you go. Now we're going to switch over back to. I just got a message from my. Okay, well, if there has to be a, I'm discussing the the build out for the distillery with my landlord on the text. So off we go to Virginia. Virginia being our North America map, things have gotten extremely interesting here in Virginia, and I will show you why. First things first, let's quick recap of the history of things that have gone on. So obviously, we started in Virginia, um, went up through Maryland, down into North Carolina, then took West Virginia, uh, South Carolina, and Georgia, and then quickly moved to consolidate the rest of the Southeast in Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama. But Texas had moved in through Florida and up through here and just grabbed a few provinces. Florida was acting weird in conjunction with Texas. So then, after I went through Georgia, took Florida, pushed Texas back. We have now consolidated a lot of our position against Texas and Florida. We have almost completed the takeover of Texas and pushed them off the map. Cuba has been consolidated under our flag. Um, Now, a couple days ago, I was talking about the math of the map. Um, the math of the map is that there's 3,000, give or take, 3,100 or so victory points on the map that are here to be had at the beginning of at this stage of the game. However many points there are at the beginning of the game, I don't know for sure. Um, Pardon me. Um, but there's like 3,100 points. My victory condition, as you can see up here, is 1,700 victory points, which means you take 3,100 minus 17. There's 1,400 remaining points out there on the map. Two people can't get victory at the same time, obviously. But as long as no single player or group of players has 1,400 points, you can go get the points without messing with them. And on this map, I know for sure, according to the opening screen, there's like 14 active players. I know for sure Nicaragua down here is active. I know for sure California is active. And I know for sure Saskatchewan up here is active. So theoretically, at least, I can um, go through the map and try to collect up victory points without coming into direct conflict with another active player. I can go through here. I can avoid Saskatchewan. I can avoid California. Arizona may be active still. I'm not sure, but I can avoid Nicaragua, and I can just get my points in Nuevo Leon. I can get my points up here in Ontario and Quebec and Maine and Michigan and Ohio and Illinois. Yes, Moose Gal, Illinois, Iowa. You can't. I can get my points elsewhere. Is what I'm saying. And if I grab up all these points, I should be able to get my 1,700 points without having to go head to head against one of these other guys. And one of the reasons it's beneficial to avoid human players is because humans are unpredictable sometimes, Humans can be unpredictable. Humans can be weird. Humans can do things that you don't expect. Humans can spend cold hard cash on the game. Up here in the upper right hand corner is the gold. Um, you can purchase gold and spend it in the game. You can spend it to get resources. 2,300 gold gets you like 4,000 of any one of these. You can see the only thing that I'm short on right now is components, which is extremely frustrating because everything requires components. But it's not so bad because every hour I get 289, which means every 4 hours or so I can build a tank, and it's fine as long as I don't get stuff wiped out. It's fine. So that's one of the things that human beings can do. You can also use the gold to speed up production. I spent probably $15 or $20 in the other campaign when I was trying to reestablish my existence in Morocco and Algeria. So that extended my time in the game for another, I don't know, 2 weeks or so until I finally got the hell kicked out of me and got booted out of the game. And then the game ended. Well, I didn't get booted out of the game. The game ended. So there's that. So, I'm now at 783. We can all of us active players can continue to chase down free points, victory points in the non-player, the non-active player positions. We can do that. Absolutely, 100%, because they're out there. There's Bermuda and Mexico and these, chump change places over here. They're out there. They're out there and they're available to be had. But here's what happened in the last couple of days that made this extremely interesting. California, Arizona, and Saskatchewan all got together and formed an alliance. And their victory condition for the alliance is 2,550 points. Now, if you recall, there are 3,100 points on this map. 3,100 points minus 2,550 leaves 550 points. That means in order for them to achieve a victory condition, they have to get every single unclaimed, non-player, non-active position. They have to take Montana, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Maine, Quebec, Ontario, as well as Nuevo Leon, Mexico, Nicaragua, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Caribbean states, etc. You get my picture here? And if they even if they captured all of those positions entirely, they still need to get another couple hundred points from me. So that means war is inevitable. I can still go out and get my 1,700 without coming into direct conflict with them. But in order for them to achieve victory, they have to get the same regions that I am going after, which means war is inevitable. I have to attack one of these. At some point, I have to attack one of them. Saskatchewan is a guy who is in, I don't know which game he's in, he is a level 5, rank 5, private, second class. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to click on his name and see how many games he's actually been in. I don't know where this game is. This is his first game. Possibly second game. All right. That's good to know. So this is possibly his second game. California is a 11th ranked. This tells you how many games you played, how much experience you've gathered in the game. He is in his I'm seeing on a second screen what his stats are as far as the number of games he's in. He is in his seventh, possibly eighth game. Arizona, which I am not 100% certain is an active position, is a ranked 30 sergeant. He has a level 30 sergeant. He is in a Celestial United Nations Alliance. And this is his. And keep in mind, this is like my 17th game, maybe 16th game, something like that. He's been in 32 games, and I'm not sure he is currently active on this map because when I look at the world map over here, the CON News, and I also realize I may be talking mostly to myself. There's these positions here that are kind of gray. Montana, Arizona, um, they're gray and they change color, or their highlight changes if you go back in time to see on day 26 they're that color. You see the highlight changes if you go back a couple of days. So I'm not certain he's active. And if you look at some of these other positions like Texas and Florida here, they kind of go inactive as well. So I'm not sure he's active, but I have to decide which one of these guys I'm going to attack first. And California is over here in Iowa, along the other side of Saskatchewan. And it's like they just jumped over Montana here. And I got a lot of stuff down here in Texas. It would not be a long hike to go over and just overrun Arizona real fast. But the capital of Saskatchewan is way up here in, you guessed it, Saskatchewan. And the capital of California is way out here in California. The most logical target for me would be right here in Arizona. But we'll just have to see where the map takes us. Because I'm not sure. I think that's probably the most logical target. Continue to just push as much to the south and west as I can. I've got a bunch of hardware up here in New York. Kansas is a pain in my side, but Nuevo Leon is a pain in my side right now. But I think the most logical course of action might be right here. I know that California has a nuclear weapon or a chemical weapons program, and I know that he is working on ballistic missiles. And I could put an end to that real fast with some well placed ships. If I built some ships, or some well placed bombers, if I built some bombers. But I can't reach all of his. I can't reach like Sacramento from the coast. I can take out 1, 2, 3, 4 of his cities from the coast. California is a tough nut to crack. If I don't have to take California, I'm not gonna, because it's just a tough nut. But if all I need is 1,700 points, there are plenty of paths to victory to get 1,700 points that don't require going up and down the Rocky Mountains. So that's kind of where things stand. And I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, but there is intrigue happening here in the state of Texas with University of Texas and Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma talking with the Southeast Conference, looking to leave the Big 12. And I couldn't be happier to see the demise of the Big 12 coming. The conference is, I've hated its existence ever since they shafted the University of Houston when they formed, and they shafted the University of Houston again like 10 years ago. Not even 10 years ago, like 5 years ago. I've said more than once that it is the weakest of the Power 5 conferences. It really shouldn't be. considered a Power Five conference, and if it weren't for Texas and Oklahoma, it wouldn't be considered a Power Five conference because all the other schools are trash. Um, or they're not trash. The schools aren't trash. The schools are just fine. The programs are trash. Um, so I'm going to thoroughly enjoy watching the demise of the. Uh, oh, nice of Kansas to change it back to ceasefire there. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy watching the demise of the Big 12 over the next several years. Um, and I'm going to also thoroughly enjoy watching Baylor and the baby sister schools scramble around and try and find themselves a new home as that conference steadily and slowly becomes. So I am taking Monterey from Nuevo Leon because Nuevo Leon has been a pain in my back. Um, they keep sending units across the Rio Grande and up into my territory, and it's driving me absolutely nuts and pissing me off. So I'm taking Monterey. That's why I'm doing that. I don't really. I mean, I can. I'm going to take a lot of their territory in the process, but taking the territory is not exactly the goal uh, because I don't really want their territory per se. Uh, what I really want is um, I need this guy down here in Dallas. Yep. Um, what I really want is them just to go away. Uh, I don't so much want or need their territory. I just want and need them to go away and quit being a pain in the ass. Um, but this is not the first time that I've had land along the Rio Grande and Nuevo Leon is just constantly sending units up into my territory. They're just a pain in the butt. They're a headache. Um, they are currently I think Nicaragua is moving north on them. Yeah, Nicaragua is moving up this way, and that's fine. Nicaragua can have it, just so long they do it and get rid of it. I think I may take the lower Rio Grande Valley through here. I've taken Reynosa, I'll take Monterey, and I'll take Monclova, and he can have all the rest of the land as far as I'm concerned. Um, but yeah, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy watching the demise of the Southeast Conference, or not the Southeast Conference, the Big 12, as they slowly disappear into history. And it may be that the Big 12 merges with the American Athletic Conference or some other conference because, a lot of those schools, like Iowa State, Kansas State, I mean, whatever. Um, they're just, I mean, nobody, unless you're from Iowa State, it's not like Iowa State's coming to play the University of Houston and like everybody from the University of Houston is like, all right, Iowa State, we don't care. Uh, so, I mean, I don't see the Big 12 being a place where the University of Houston is going to go without Texas because there's no point for the University of Houston to be in the Big 12 without without a $20 million without a $20 million annual payday. I would love to see Texas Tech and the University of Houston go to the Pac-12. I think that would be awesome. Um, um, so yeah, I'm kind of keeping my eye on all that. It's going to be fun to see, fun to watch that as it plays out. So Iowa has a lot of land up here in Kansas. Kansas and Iowa kind of been going at it. Um, the fact that California is here around Saskatchewan complicates things because I don't know if I really want to go. California is way out there in the west. I don't know if I want to go to war with California here in the east. If I go to war with California, I want to go to war with California in the west. Um, If I'm going to go to war with California, I'm going to war with California through Arizona, and I'm coming right through here, Mexicali. I'm coming through Mexicali, and I'm coming through. Actually, I'm probably just going to come through Mexicali. There's no reason. There's a ferry crossing up here on the river. Here, it's a ferry. It's a port, but it's a ferry crossing basically, which it slows you down. It's like a 2 hour embarkation, 2 hour debarkation. So it's like a 4 hour crossing here. But if I could just, plow everything through Mexicali, uh, that opens up all of his cities here. That would be the strategic way to go. If I were to go to war with California, I don't want to go to war with California over freaking South Dakota and, and Nebraska. I don't want to do that. That's crazy. Uh, that is uh, that is zero risk and zero or high risk and zero reward because all I would be doing is burning up units on my side and burning up units on their side. What um, and golly, just working all the way up here through Saskatchewan. I have to get all the way up here to Prince Albert to do anything meaningful to Saskatchewan. Um, if I were to go to war with Saskatchewan, I would go through uh, Quebec and Ontario, not North Dakota and Minnesota. Um, but the strategy right now, I think what I'm really leaning towards, what I'm feeling right now, is pushing my way through Texas into New Mexico and Arizona. That's what I'm feeling right now. Um, but that may change. That may change in Saskatchewan. Maybe something to look into. I don't know. I don't know yet. Of course, Ohio might declare war on me out of the freaking blue. That'd be something. Um, so the build orders I have right now, I'm basically building up economy like crazy, pushing hard on economic stuff, and working on my next wave of tanks. And then tanks and jets will be coming out. Um, a whole mess of uh, economic stuff, and then tanks and jets. 15% every every one you buy, or every 100 you buy, gives you 15 more gold. Oh boy. Um, so what else do I need to do? I don't know if there's a whole lot that I need to do right now. I would like to remind everybody to get vaccinated. Jesus Christ. We've been doing this now for 6 months. There's not really much of an excuse to not be vaccinated. If you can't be vaccinated, that's one thing. I'm sure there's some medical conditions out there that prevent people from being able to get vaccinated. Um, but if you can be vaccinated and you haven't gotten vaccinated, shame on you, man. Come on, get out there and do it. It is not, you're not helping anybody by not doing it. You're not proving a point. The only people you're hurting are small business owners, kids who can't be vaccinated. You're hurting them. Um, you are hurting our medical professionals. Um, Cases are spiking all over the summer or all over the country. Houston, we've moved from green in the springtime when people were getting vaccinated and still staying home, relatively speaking, to now we went through yellow and now we're in orange, which is a high alert, or the hospitals are on uh, high capacity or whatever they call it. Uh, like 1 out of every 10,000 people in Harris County is uh, what was infected or have been infected with the virus. That is uh, an obscene number of people. And Harris County has like 5 million people here, so we're talking 50,000 something people across. That's the size of a good sized city. Come on, people. It's not. This isn't hard. It's not complicated. It's not experimental vaccine. It's not giving you the illness. You know, the only people who are sick are the people who have not gotten the vaccine. Um, so, for God's sakes, get yourself vaccinated. My kid, my youngest, is 9. He's going to have to go back to school. In a world where people are debating whether or not they want to get vaccinated, do it. Do it. I mean, just do it. Jesus. I mean, you want to be a part of our society, like participate in the freaking society. If you don't want to be a part of the society, fine. Don't be a part of the society. I hear there's plenty of desert islands that you can go live on. Jack offs. I swear. But more importantly, if you look at the probability of catching it is low, and you're not, and that's like legit. It's the probability of catching it is relatively low. Um, you know, because like I said, there's 1 in 10,000 people in Harris County. There's 5 million people in Harris County, but you're not in a room with all 5 million of them. The probability of catching it is low. That's not debatable. But if you come into contact with somebody who is infected, the probability of catching it is extremely high. And if you're vaccinated, then the probability of catching it is extremely low. Not zero. It's not zero, but it's extremely low. And if you do catch it, you know, like take a, and by probability of it being extremely low, what I mean is if you had a 10-sided die, for example, you know, your critical number is 10. You roll the die, you hit the 10, boom. If you're vaccinated, the only way you get, well, I'm not going to say the only way you get sick. If you're vaccinated, the way you get sick, you roll that die, your number comes up. That's how you get it. If you're not vaccinated, it's the exact opposite. You know, you're safe if you get 10, you're infected if you get any of the other numbers. And that's not the exact numbers. I'm not saying you have a 10% chance or whatever it is. I'm just saying that's the example. You know, you have your chance cube, you roll your chance cube, your critical hit number. It's either every number above 1 or every number below 10. And that's you know how these things, the probabilities. That's the best way that I know to explain how probabilities work. And it's not, you know, it's not like you roll that die 10 times and one time you're going to get a 10. You know, like every number shows up. It's that if you roll that die 100,000 times, each one of those numbers will show up about 10% of the time. That's how probability works. It works with large numbers, not so much with small numbers. But that's neither here nor there. What's important to know is you're not proving anything to anybody. If you like don't get vaccinated and then don't get sick, it's not like, see, I told you so. No, you're just putting everybody at risk for absolutely no reason. And you're not, there's no time in the future where you're going to be able to say, oh, see, I did it, didn't get sick. See, everybody was just like, nobody's going to give you a trophy for that. Nobody's going to give you a fancy belt buckle. Nobody's going to give you a fucking prize. Everybody's going to look at you like, well, good for you, asshole. They're not. I don't understand what kind of status you think you're going to be getting if that's the mindset. I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And you know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm a systems guy. You know, you know, if you take people out of the buying equation, it hurts small businesses. It makes it hard for us to hire people. It makes it hard for us to sell our product to people. It makes it hard for us to just function. You know, I mean, in my personal situation, if I'm down for 2 weeks, like my business seizes up, that costs me a lot of money. I mean, you know, being the owner, being the guy who runs the business, technically I have all the sick leave I want. I can go on vacation anytime I want. But if I go on vacation, nobody's doing the work. You know, I have to do other work A lot of times I do work when I'm on vacation. It's marketing work, it's answering phones, it's sending emails, it's doing stuff like that. I'm just not filling bottles and doing sales. If I go down sick and I'm laying on the couch or in the bed and I'm out, like company doesn't pay me sick time. Uh, you know, it's not like I'm a multinational corporation that has oodles and oodles and oodles of reserve cash and I can just pay sick time as a benefit. I don't have a deep team of employees that can cover for me when I'm out. I am the deep team of employees. I cover for me when I'm out. um, I am moving units around over here to kind of finish cleaning up over here with New York. So I've got a tank and uh, an infantry unit. I have an infantry unit here in Harrisburg coming to just kind of clean up this little strip of New York, a New York strip. How about that? And then these guys are going to go down to Texas. Um, but I mean, personally, I mean, that's where I'm at. That's one of the reasons why I got vaccinated. Um, but if I'm vaccinated and my business is open, and only 30% of my community is vaccinated and able to fully participate in the economic activity of my community, then that 70% reduction of economic activity hurts me. It hurts my business. It hurts all of the businesses. These are people that can't go to work. And if you can't go to work, then if the business can't put you, if a business can't put you to work, or you're not doing your work, whatever it is, your freelance work, however you work, then that's economic activity that's just not happening. If the business can't put you to work, then they've got empty spots, and their ability to generate income is is damaged and hurt, and so then their ability to pay more people to do more work gets damaged. Like the Chili's around here, around the corner from my house, we went up there a few months ago. They didn't have a hostess at the door because they were short staffed. Shockingly, it's a terrible, terrible restaurant, by the way. This particular one, Chili's in general, I have no beef with Chili's in general. This one has always been an issue. It's a very poorly managed store. Um, I think they may have gotten a new manager recently, and they're working on that. So bravo to them. But we get there. There's no hostess. There's a guy at the bar. The bartender's at the bar, but there's no hostess, and I think they only have one waitress. But the whole place is empty. The whole restaurant is empty. Part of the reason they're empty is because they they uh, they didn't have any staff on hand. But you can't get waitresses and waiters to work at your restaurant if you don't have people at your restaurant to eat. And if you don't have staff to feed them and seat them and take their orders, then nobody comes to your restaurant, and it becomes this little cycle of of just this downward cycle of destruction for the business. And if you can't find waiters and waitresses because they're either unvaccinated or they're sick or they don't want to work because you don't pay them enough, then um, then that hurts the business. That hurts the business, and it hurts everybody else who works for the business, because now they can't afford, because their customers are leaving, they can't afford to pay more people to come in and work. So the people who are there don't get shifts. It's this whole cascading, this set of cascading consequences that hurt small businesses and hurt people like me. So for God's sakes, what do you got against small businesses, man? Hey, Tuna, cheers, brother. Um, conquering all of the Finnish lands. There's no Finland in this map. That map, the world map, is that game ended. That game ended on Wednesday night, or right around Wednesday night. Uh, I ended up in 10th place. My Sydney Gambit failed live on Tuesday during my game afternoon on Tuesday. And then my second chance, my last hope to take Sydney, failed Wednesday afternoon around 3:30, and then the game ended Wednesday shortly after that when the game clock hit midnight. They had gotten all their stuff. Um, so there you go. And when I looked at the map, they show you the full map after the game ends. My opponents had absolutely nothing through all of Central Europe, through all of Russia, all the way down through Indonesia. I could have, if I had more units, absolutely could have just run through and emptied out their cities. But I got taken out by some jets, and that was the end of the game. In this particular map, I was talking about it earlier, and I will talk about it one more time because I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed myself. But what we have going on here is the same recap as before. I'm still Virginia and all the stuff. But the map math is there's 3,100 or so points to be had. I need 1,700 of those points. In order for me to win the game, I need to collect up 1,700 points. And there's plenty of room on the map to get 1,700 points. Even right here on this screen, there's Nuevo Leon and Kansas and Missouri and Illinois and Iowa and Indiana, Ohio, Quebec, Ontario, Maine, all of that. You add all that together, that is right about 1,700 points, in addition to the points that I currently have, which is 783. That's about 980 points. If you add that 980 to my 17, you get right at 1760. But the interesting development that came up yesterday was, let me switch screens here. Let me make this bigger so we can see these guys better. What happened yesterday was Saskatchewan and California and Arizona have teamed up into a coalition. So Saskatchewan, they need 2,550 points to win the game. And if you remember from your, I guess it's 4 digits, so it's probably third grade math, 3,100 minus 2,550 is 600 and, I'm sorry, 550 points. And if you take 550 and compare it to 783, the alligator mouth is going towards 783 because 783 is greater than 550, which means this coalition can take the entire map, every single one of the regions, counties, provinces, cities on the map, every single one of them, all of the islands, all of the everything from Nuevo Leon down to Nicaragua, all the way out to Maine, and go completely around my land. They still won't have enough to win the game. They have to go through me. And I can't allow that. So that means war is inevitable. And the inevitability of war means I'm going to start it. I'm not going to wait for it to come to me. I'm going to go to them with it. And now I've got to figure out who I'm going to attack, whether it's going to be Arizona, California, or Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is the organizer of, they're the leader, they're the organizer of the alliance. And I think it had been Arizona, which is why I think Arizona went inactive, because Saskatchewan is the leader of the coalition now. But I may be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But one way, and also California has taken some land over here west of Iowa, and I don't want to go through that in order to get to Saskatchewan. And if I'm going to go to war with California, I'm not going to go to war with California in South Dakota and Nebraska. I'm going to go to war with California over here in California, because this is where all of their production is, right here in California proper. That's where all their main cities are. So all of that being a prelude to, I'm probably going to be at war with Arizona by this time next week. This game, I mean, it changes every day, and it changes in a lot of unusual and unexpected ways when it does. And that was an unexpected development. I was not expecting a three position coalition to form without even contacting the number one player on the map right now, which is and number one in points right now. And I have to do something about that coalition because if they all come at me at the same time, I'm fucked. So I need to prevent that from happening in the most aggressive way possible. Um, so I'm going to start building some ships. I'm going to go over and bombard the coast of California, possibly. And then while all that's happening, I'm going to do everything I can to overrun Arizona. Maybe that strategy may change before I eat breakfast in the morning. We'll see. I don't know. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that's where we stand as of right now. Tomorrow, I start recording the build out of our electrical room at um, the build out of the electrical room at the distillery. And it's not really a room, it's the electrical, I guess it's an electrical wall. Yeah, I'll start recording that, and the build out videos will start being posted up on our channel. In addition to some whiskey distilling stuff. Ooh, this is also a new development. I just saw this. Look down here on the bottom right hand corner. You see that little flashing yellow thing right there in the bottom right hand corner. That is the option to end the game. That means there's only 5 players left in the game. I know I'm one of them. Nicaragua, I believe, is still active in the game. Saskatchewan, Arizona, and California. That may be our 5 if Arizona is still active, and they're still in the coalition. When you go inactive, you get kicked. The process for getting kicked out of the coalition begins. So I don't see a lot of evidence of activity with others on the map. Kansas may still be in it. I'm not sure. They keep switching their stuff with me from at war to ceasefire to I think they're at peace with me right now. But they also are attacking one of my regions like a dumb idiot. So I don't know who the 5th person is. I don't know if it's Arizona or if it's one of these Midwest states. So that is a new development. I just noticed that. That was not flashing earlier today. So that's a new development in the last several hours. So if all the players, all 5 of us vote to end the game, then the game ends and I win with 783 points. I have yet to have a game end that way, mostly because I've never voted to end the game. But that's where it stands right now. We're at day 27. We're 5 hours into day 27. I'm going to shut it down and hit the hay because I am exhausted. And then, yeah, I plan to be back Sunday, possibly Tuesday, and we shall see. Long live the Big 12. Just kidding. I'm looking forward to that dumpster fire finally vanishing into the history books. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, don't forget to spay and neuter your cats. Be awesome to each other. Get yourself vaccinated. And we will see you on the next episode of the Old Humble Game Night. Cheers. Good night.